imported machinery that will be used for processing. Let's see that as a case scenario.
Study.
And then by May, June, you find out that this has actually not stimulated value addition. Instead, people are poaching, and so you now decide, let us change this. That is a cycle. The process is the budget process is to say, I envisage to do this, and then you allocate a sum to it, right? So it is that I envisage to do this, to do that, that is the revolving or the rolling plans that we had in those days that enabled, or rather preempted, the compulsion to return unspent monies into the treasury.
But in this,
because the activity, the program or the project was conceived as ongoing. So it didn't have the 12-month terminal date to it.
Okay, so in this case here now that the budget is ending in May, I mean the 2018 budget, for instance, it's ending in May. That's the lifespan of it, according to the Honorable.
Administrative lifespan.
You said something about people sleeping in their offices to award contracts so that they don't return any money. No monies are being returned until May. I mean, if the budget is still alive, the lifespan of the budget is still there till May, why do you think monies will be returned now?
I have the humble privilege of having been a public servant before working as a salary earner in the private sector, before becoming an employer of labor in the private sector. And so whatever I tell you about what happens is actually what happens. Budgets are separated. There is the recurrent, there is the capital. There are some of those capital expenditures that by an administrative memo, probably passed by the executive, not even needing to go back to the assembly, can or may be allowed to continue. The bulk of what constitutes money as it is understood under the budget is actually what I am saying that I'm afraid are going to be hurriedly. People sleep. People actually spend Christmas in the office because now you are going to see people. Well, this is very expository. I hope I do get back to where I came from. But you will now have people who have 20 companies in their drawers. You know what we're talking about? So that immediately money. The process of 3 quotations and all of those things, that's the work that is going to be going on until 31st. There are projects that were advertised as, I don't want to mention specific MDAs, but I know that there are projects that were advertised in federal government tenders journal that should have taken off as far back as April, May.
Okay, but can
and
they
are waiting for the budget. Can you tell us now, so the budget is okay.
What about the kinds of projects, maybe not the NDA, but the kinds of projects that could witness this kind of
capacity building, vocational skills development,
anything on capital?
And all of those issues. So capital will not fall under that now because you can't do it in 7 days.
Is this 2019 budget, when you look at it, is it getting Nigeria anywhere?
I warned that I was actually going to be sounding like a prophet of doom. But honestly, I am not seeing us at the starting blocks yet. Now, I'm not condemning in totality. We must recognize and give, maybe sometimes commend things that are going on. Yes, there is activity going on. But do you understand the concept of a barber's chair? It can, depending on the number of customers who come in a day, that chair continues, is turning it this way, turning it this way. But that chair is never moving forward. That's my fear. That's my fear, because if we're going to continue the same concept, it's actually as if the Nigerian budget has a template, and all that happens is that you jiggle with the figures. And the more I even tend to look at it, because I know some programs that are no longer being run, that have been discarded a long time ago. If you want to point out, I can give you the name of one, but it still has its subtitle under Nigeria's budget. Go and check the budget template. There is a program called Commerce 44. It has allocation.
I was even going to ask you, because I mean, having been an advisor to Minister of Trade, I'm just wondering, did anything change? 4 ministers of trade, as a matter of fact. Did anything change all the while you advised them to see how budgets could have meanings, impact on the lives of Nigerians?
Were you around the Nigerian space when not a minister but a Nigerian head of state said, yes, I have advisors, they may be world class, they may advise, but it's up to me to take the advice? I hope you once heard that. Okay, so that's exactly what the kind of responsibility on the neck of an advisor. So you might have the best of advice, you might give them. Oh, well, I'm not one of those. I thank God that even in the present administration, I can point to 1, 2, 3 programs that are being run that, to the glory of God, probably we conceptualized originally from the beginning, or we were part of the design.
Now, beyond funding, because we hope to come to that in this 2019 assumptions, what can you tell us? Is it true what they say about implementation of a budget, that is usually the MDAs or civil service that is usually the hurdle, the bottleneck to implementing the budgets?
I don't think so. I'm not holding brief for the MDAs, but the truth is that most of them are handicapped.
How?
And again, if you want to look at it, a lot of what you see in the allocations to the MDAs are actually not meant for the MDAs to implement. They are holding it in trust. Constituency projects and what have you, they are usually put under the supposedly responsible MDA. But if the MDA is responsible for the implementation, the key word here being implementation,